Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this is an article from independent.co.uk. And it's basically starting. Okay, the people are now starting to go out into the streets, and with the reasoning of the pricing, the high costs of things. The title of this article says, "Thousands march to demand help with cost of living crisis," and I believe this is where is this? Let's see. This is It says thousands of protesters gathered in central London to demand action from the government to combat the cost of living crisis. And I remember back in the beginning of the year in Kazakhstan, you had people, the place was in turmoil. They had to declare martial law, and Russia stepped in there to help them out. And that was a result of the price hikes in gas. Okay, and they started, pretty much going crazy over there. And now it's getting so bad now. You have people that are starting to now gather, okay, for to protest against cost of living, against high prices of things. And that's really a doorway for chaos and stuff, because in America, for example, when you look at the summer that the whole George Floyd situation summer, it sort of set like another normality for what certain protests look like, which really they just become riots and looting and that kind of thing. And I'm sure you had a lot of agents, in there. However, it's now like a thing where when something happens and, Jake takes to the streets, they start breaking into stores, breaking windows, doing that kind of thing. So if that's what they did during the George Floyd protest, what do you think they're going to be doing when this time they're protesting because they actually need goods? They need food and whatever else they need to do. You're going to have certain people that will take advantage of, the chaos and the stuff, to just start taking things. And just like, during the George Floyd protest, they mentioned how a pile of bricks would just magically appear, and then you, I'm sure you, like I said, you have agents that'll sort of set that, they'll break a window, and then, people are impressionable. So they see it all, they'll start joining in, start running into stores and looting, so don't be surprised if you got, crowds start gathering because of, food prices going up too high, electricity bills going up everything is going up too high. And they start taking out to the streets and wilding out. And you have agents that start to sort of promote certain actions during those gatherings, like, man, F this shit. Let's just go take the food, start going in there, grabbing stuff, coming out. And if they start doing that, or when they start doing that, that'll make things worse, because when you're going to have regular people that don't join in at first. But guess what? When you try to go to BJ's, because they're going to be, when it gets that bad, these are going to be the stores they go after. The stores that have foods like, BJ's, Walmart, they're going to be in Targets, they're going to be in Stop and Shops, Trader Joe, they're going to be in these stores. So these are stores that people regularly go to shop at. So imagine trying to go there after a night of riots, food riots, or cost of living riots, and the place is all damaged and broken. They're going to close it down, or, at least you're not going to be allowed in there. So now if you need to get goods, that's too bad, because the stores have been vandalized and probably burnt and all that. So it says, thousands of protesters gathered in central London to demand action from the government to combat the cost of living crisis. The crowds began a march from Portland Place to Parliament Square at 12 p.m. for a rally with speakers including Francis O'Grady, General Secretary of the TUC, which is organizing the event. And when you look at, I think it was the DHS bulletin, and they basically mentioned there's certain events that are gonna take place very soon. That is gonna be like a, you could say like a, for lack of a better word, a beacon for chaos. You know, so they got that going out there. They're talking about the Roe v. Wade, decision thing coming out this month, and that's gonna also cause a lot of division and friction. Right, one people against another. You got pro-life, and I don't know. I guess the others would be anti-life or whatever they call themselves. Now it says the TUC, or the TUC says its research suggests workers have lost almost 20,000. What's that, euros? Let me see. Make sure I'm saying it right. I'm not good with currency, so don't hold me on that. Let's see. Oh, the pound. Okay, pound sterling. It looks like that's what they use. The pound sterling, right? So it's lucky about that, right? So 20,000 pounds since 2008, because pay has not kept pace with inflation. See, that's the thing, because when your pay, we always break it down, but you gotta, always, you gotta keep breaking it down anyway. When you're getting paid a certain amount, the prices of things are going up. If your company is not accommodating for that, you're not really um you're not really in a good place, because think about when they raise minimum wage, right? When they raise minimum wage, everything else goes up as well. So it doesn't, like, prices of things are not going to stay the same when you just go from 13.50 to $15. You got to ask yourself, why would they raise minimum wage? Minimum wage meaning the least amount of money you can get paid, right? Or you should be getting paid at these particular areas. Why would they increase that? Meaning that that's the minimum you're going to need if you want to be able to continue living, because of the cost of living in this area. So what does that tell you? If they raise the minimum from 13.50 to 15, that means that the cost of everything else is going up. So they got to balance it out. Okay. Now, if inflation is going on, right, prices of things are going up, you're still getting paid the same thing. Now you're at a disadvantage, because your pay more and more of your paycheck is going to bills and less to you. And then before you know it, all of your paycheck is going to bills and less to you. And before you know it, your paycheck is not enough to go to the bills, because your paycheck is staying the same, but the bills are getting more and more, more expensive. Now it says, banners reading, cut war, not welfare, and end fuel poverty, insulate homes now, were carried by demonstrators. Others read, nurses, not nukes. Don't get angry, get active, and free Assange. It says people in the crowd whistled, cheered, and clapped as a blue flare was set off to mark the beginning of the march. Loud music, including the songs 9 to 5, I Need a Dollar and Money, 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 I Need a Dollar and Money, 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 were played through speakers as people sang and danced along. And now it's all nice and funny for now, but when people haven't eaten in a couple of days, when they're suffering and going through terrible energy shortages, and it's affecting them big time, they're not going to be having speakers singing. They're going to have a different, well, let's just say they're going to be singing a different tune, right? So now, real quick, I want to keep this short, so I'm going to get a quick precept here in the book of Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, it's like here. Right, so it says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's what we're seeing. So we understand what time we're living in, okay, based on the signs we're seeing. Verse 3 says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And we're seeing uproars for many different reasons. Look in Sri Lanka right now. And now a lot of these uproars are having a common theme, a common cause, which is the hardship of life. And this is going to force certain governments to take certain means, which is going to lead down the destructive road, you know, because it always does when they start to try and take these same repeated means to quell and cut inflation and so on and so forth, you know. But as it says in verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So we see that, in essence, what is that? That's prophecy coming to pass. All right, prophecy is being fulfilled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description. You could check it out, you know, and it's only a matter of time before they start getting out on the streets on a serious note because of how bad things are getting. You know, just give it a couple weeks, you know, the next few months, and based on what they're forecasting in terms of the hardships, you know, we might start to see a completely different side of people, you know, in no time. All right. So anyway, with that, I hope you were edified and informed. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.